Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Ollie Show, where we will have special guests, hot topics, and unexpected surprises. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Ollie Show. Today, I'd like to invite you to open your hearts and clear your mind as we dive into our topic. Let's see. Marijuana, pot, weed, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be our conversation on today. I have invited some guests to come that are totally against it, and I've invited some others that are for it. And we're just going to have a discussion. So if you could put your hands together once again and help me to welcome Tina and Chief. So how are you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. So I invited you guys to come because it is such a controversial topic. A lot of things, some people, they want to give all the different reasons of why we need to legalize this. And I mean, there's farm workers and all different type of people. So I wanted to know, really, why would you say that it's something that we don't need to have?
Well, I would say this. Marijuana has THC in it,
Okay.
which is a brain tranquilizer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to bring it in. I've been in pharmaceuticals for 17 years.
Yeah.
So I've seen both. I've seen the pharmaceutical side of Marinol, and it doesn't have THC in it.
Okay.
So it is a medical, it's good for medical reasons.
Okay.
And I'm not like totally against medical reasons. I'm totally against the THC that's inside of the marijuana, which is a tranquilizer and used for, other reasons.
But it's natural. So is that something that is with THC? I mean, would you say is it just automatically there? I mean, is that something that's put there?
If I can, my research, I think it's female. I think it's natural.
Okay.
I think it's natural. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure my rivalry will let me know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Chief, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, even though it's natural, there are some natural things that it's not good to take.
Okay.
It's kind of leaf, and there are some leaf that is suffocating, it's not good for your health. So marijuana is not totally good for your health because it intoxicates more than alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes people to do what they don't want to do. It can push you to do some things you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's not good to legalize. Because legalizing marijuana is like legalizing more crime. Let me just stop there for now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. And so with this right here, would you say that you don't see any positive that comes out of this? I mean, there's nothing, you don't see anything that's good for it.
Anyway, there are some things that may be good for health, like people said is medicinal or is medicinal, but there are some drugs that you don't take except doctor prescription. There are some drugs. So even though it's good for it's good for health or medicinal, but is it approved by doctor for you to take it? So we cannot just go to pharmacy and say, I want to take this, I want to take this, except the doctor look at you and said, okay, you need this.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you need to take it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Tell me this, do either one of you have a personal connection of why you're against it?
Okay, I can say this. When I was 16, there was either, I'm not sure if he was an alcoholic, I'm not sure if he was under the influence of drugs or marijuana. However, I know he hit me. And he hit me and I was left for dead. and I had to learn how to walk all over again.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
I
Hey,
would
look.
never know
Look.
looking at you now.
But and I'm just saying, if he hadn't have done whatever he was doing as far as drinking or doing marijuana, whatever the case was, then maybe he wouldn't have hit me.
Okay.
It's like it just tranquilizes your brain. It makes you not. It's not like you don't know what you're doing. I think you just don't care
Okay.
what you're doing.
Okay. And as far as your personal connection of maybe why you're against it.
Yeah, where I come from, I don't know the kind of marijuana they have over here, but I come from Nigeria.
You come from Nigeria, okay?
Yeah. Marijuana is not an easy thing for people to be taking.
Do you guys have it over there?
There is marijuana everywhere, but I
Okay.
think the ones they have in Nigeria is more stronger than here.
Okay.
So, number one, if you see some people can take marijuana and become mad, crazy, because it affect their brain.
Okay.
If you have not taken it before. So if you don't have some strong brain,
Yeah.
marijuana can make you start running on the street.
Yeah.
So, and number two, some people use marijuana like sometimes, sorry to say this, like a man. I have seen a situation that a woman is feeling hard to get. They said, okay, this girl, okay, I will get it. Once they put marijuana in the food or whatever, the girl will pass out and they do whatever, they rape the girl. And so marijuana is not totally good to legalize it. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we've heard great things from you. I got the other two guests here. Let's put our hands together and let's welcome Emerald and Jeff. Let's bring them out. Come on. So glad to be able to have both of you to come and be a part of the show on today. We've just been having a discussion about why they feel like the legalization of marijuana really should not even exist in no locations, basically. And I wanted to bring you guys out because, from my understanding, you have a lot of positive things to be able to say about it and also why it should be legal. So I want to start with you, Emerald. What are your thoughts when it comes down to the legalization of marijuana?
Well, I believe that cannabis products in general should be legalized. There are some that are legal currently,
Okay.
and the pro-marijuana community is continuing to advocate for not just medicinal purposes, but also recreational purposes. For example,
Okay.
alcohol is something that is fluid and is available throughout the streets. Cannabis products are nowhere near as deadly long-term, or, and this is scientifically proven,
Okay.
or as detrimental to a person's mind
Okay.
through a level of intoxication. So let's look at that. There's a lot of other reasons, as well as people with high levels of anxiety,
Yeah.
people that may have need an appetite stimulation because maybe they're having a mental health issue or a physical issue where their appetite is extremely suppressed or their anxiety is super high. Instead of having to take an opioid product, which again, long-term health detriment, and also increases the level of addiction, we can use something instead to assist that person with their needs.
Okay. That's a good way to be able to put it. Jeff, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, so, every time I see somebody against the legalization of marijuana or any other drug that's currently illegal in our society,
Yeah.
it either comes down to an emotional or basically a religious moral decision. Look, it's not your decision to legislate my morality. She pointed out alcohol. Look, alcohol is way more destructive by itself than all other illegal drugs on the face of the planet. The war on drugs is a complete disaster. It's a complete failure. It's not working. Even though drugs are illegal, they're still out there. They're still being used. Why wouldn't we legislate it, regulate it, tax it, get control of it? There are so many upsides to the legalization of every drug. I'm for the legalization of heroin. Do I take heroin? No. I don't even smoke weed, but I'm for the
So
legalization.
you don't smoke at all?
I don't smoke at all. That's not why I'm an advocate for it.
Okay.
Again, as I take away the emotion and I take away any religious beliefs or components or judgment against others, who is the government to tell me I can't smoke weed when, do you see weed smokers wrecking their cars and beating people up? The alcohol is the most destructive drug on the planet, arguably. Maybe it's not, but as far as the wide uses, it's terrible. The consequence, the damage to property, the cost of all the things, wrecking cars, and the cost of injuries from out in bars. Tonight there's going to be 10,000 fights that result in people in the hospital, or So that's kind of my thing. I think the war on drugs is a failure. The cost of enforcement's too high. The cost of incarceration's too high. We could eliminate all those billions and billions of dollars and put that back into the economy to maybe treat some of the people. And the other thing is, on the moral argument, I hear people saying if they legalize marijuana, everybody's going to start smoking. I won't. I can go get it right now. I can walk out of here and in 5 minutes I can have some marijuana, or 10 or 20, whatever it is. I can get it. It's not legalization. Illegalization is not stopping people from using crack, heroin, all the drugs. They're out there. We've got the worst drug problem we've ever had. So why is keeping it illegal helping?
Okay. So have you guys ever smoked before?
I have not.
You've never smoked before?
I have been around people that have,
Okay.
and I don't like the smell.
Okay.
I don't think it's right. If I'm in your presence and you're smoking it, then I have to smell what you're smoking. I mean, if it was just you smoking it and it's in, your body that you're affecting, then, and not someone else's, then maybe that would be a totally different topic.
Okay. What about you?
I have not smoked before,
Okay.
but I have seen people smoke. I have seen the way it is. I have seen that is totally not accepted,
Yeah.
because like what he said, come think of this. We are talking about violence, and there are some violent, and people are talking about, government are talking about too much violence.
Yeah.
But if you legalize marijuana, that will be more violent in the society.
So those are your thoughts about what he just said?
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be more violent in society, because, for example, if someone that is taking that smoke marijuana can bear me a witness that once they take marijuana right now, their mood will change,
The mood change. Okay.
and they won't be who they are. They want to do something else. They want to think about doing some stupid stuff. Alcohol, like what you said, like alcohol. Yeah, I totally agree, like alcohol, but marijuana is more stronger than alcohol. Because alcohol, you may take alcohol now, you misbehave but at a time. But let me tell you one thing. That's why I said that. Marijuana, I don't know the kind of marijuana they have here, but sometimes in my country, some people will take marijuana and pass out. Do you know what they do? They will
They're
go
not
and find.
violent then, are they?
They will go and find.
They'll pass out and wake up with the munchies.
no,
Honestly,
no,
I
no,
never
no.
seen nobody
They will
smoke weed and
find
get violent.
a cool
it's
water,
more or less a
and there is
peace
something
thing.
Well,
we
that's
call.
not true. I have.
There
I
is-
have.
There is
I have.
something we call gari. They soaked it, and the person will drink it and drink and drink and drink before you know it, before it comes down. So marijuana is not good in health. It's like they said smoking is not good in health because you will die young. The same thing to marijuana.
It's not
too.
your decision to
You can-
regulate my health.
You
But
can have
so
cigarettes with no weed.
let's find out this right here. So for you guys to be for it, have you ever smoked before?
Yes,
Okay, and how often did you do it?
frequently.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I want to go ahead and double down on his anti-recidivism rate. Do you know how many people would not be in jail today if weed was legal? Do you know how many people would not have to be like going through a ridiculousness amount of how many black people in today's society are arrested
excuse
for
me?
petty weed?
Do you
a
know
dime
how many
bag of
people
weed.
that-
When you have people blowing buildings up,
Do you know how many
Take
people
them
that
to jail.
will be
Real
killed
crime.
when they legalize marijuana?
and if you're
many?
mixing
How many?
drugs,
There
I
are
wanna
so
hear
many
this.
people.
I wanna
So-
hear this. How many?
If you legalize marijuana, it's like somebody will just move finish taking
you ever seen
marijuana,
Cheech
he
and
said,
Chong?
okay, I want to,
Yeah.
Have you ever
I
seen
want to
Cheech and
move
Chong?
Wayne's
because
World?
marijuana will
What
take you
about
to move you and start shooting.
Woodstock?
We are talking of
How
shooting
many
aside,
people-
but when there is no marijuana legalized,
Yeah.
but when marijuana legalized, there will be legalized crime.
gonna
So many people will be dying,
That's just
and so
not
many
true.
people.
You don't
That
have
is
any
the
data
truth.
to back that
So-
up. You don't
It's
have
not
anything to back that up
scientifically
whatsoever.
Well,
proven.
we
So
didn't
I'm-
have any about guns either.
Right.
We
So
good on
you know
that
what?
topic too. Those should be legal too.
But when we legalized that, it got a little crazy.
So let me tell you this.
It
right here.
did.
What we're
Yes,
gonna
it
do,
did.
Listen,
Cannabis has to do with violence?
let's pull it together. Let me tell you this right here. What we're gonna do? 'Cause I know it's getting
It's getting
interesting.
hot in here.
Yeah. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, then we will continue this conversation. All I can say is we'll be back right after this. Okay. All right, so welcome back once again. We have been having a discussion about the legalization of marijuana, and even during the commercial break, it got a little bit heated, and so just had to cool everyone down. But I believe we left off, and you had made a statement, and you'd asked a question, so I wanted you to pick back up right there.
I think I was asking a question about, when they legalized guns. When they legalized guns.
Okay.
And when they legalized guns, it got crazy. Like we had more violence.
When was that?
You know when they legalized guns.
I do.
Don't go there.
Like they've always been legal.
No, I'm saying like for everyone. They passed that law.
Oh, as far as like just open carry?
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
the open carry law.
Okay.
So
It
when
happened
they,
like 2 weeks ago. Hasn't been anything happened.
That has been so long time, not right
Okay,
now.
well, I'm
Exactly.
unaware of the law.
You mean the license to carry a weapon,
Yes.
period?
License to
Oh,
carry.
license.
Oh,
license to
so we're
carry
going-
for-
okay,
No,
okay.
I'm just making that as an example.
Okay.
And I'm just saying how before they had that law and they enforced that law, we didn't have as much violence.
So if
People
they,
weren't-
if we have a terrorist come over, a group of terrorists come here and try to take over,
And y'all high?
and actually, no, you want to talk about
No, I'm
guns.
just
If you
saying.
want to talk about guns, let's
I'm
talk
just
about
saying.
guns because guns and marijuana are two completely different
but y'all high.
subjects.
No, I totally,
Let's talk about two
But-
different
I'm-
I totally
subjects.
disagree
And
with
not to be
you.
high
No,
and
no,
not
no.
intoxicated,
No,
you know
no,
what
I
I'm saying?
totally
That's
disagree
not-
with you because before you carry the gun, you must be high. So
Before you
marijuana,
carry the
yeah,
gun, you must be
marijuana
high.
makes people to be high.
Somebody-
So once you
All
are
right,
high, you
listen.
start going to carry the
How
gun.
about you want to stick to marijuana or do you want to talk about guns and violence?
just want you to talk.
Because a gun ain't worth a damn without the person pulling the trigger with ill intention.
But Emerald, I
That's
can
not
see,
gonna lead
I
to
can see,
violence.
I can see what she means also as well because, like for example, they said in Australia that I guess we talk about the death rate of violence and everything had went totally down because of the fact that it's
They were stricter on this. Okay.
there you go, yeah.
So
that's
a
where she's going
cannabis
with it.
product, okay, which is used for anti-anxiety purposes, that brings people down. Let's look at that, okay? You rather a person take a Xanax that is an opioid than cannabis. Listen, I'm a PhD student here, okay? So I am not stupid
So we're
about
building up the
bringing these
credentials.
things to the table.
Okay.
When we are looking at scientific facts
Okay.
that actually take a product that reduces this behavior that you're discussing, and you're speaking from a person who has never actually used or had direct experience with just the product not being laced,
Excuse
not
me,
being used in
excuse me.
combination with
Let
other
me ask
drugs.
you one question.
Excuse me,
No,
sir,
let me
but the
ask you one
cannabis you're
question.
speaking
No,
of is
just
from
hold
your
on,
country.
hold on,
wait,
This
wait,
is
wait,
not
wait, wait.
United
No.
States
Hold on, wait.
cannabis.
Hold on, let me
Hold on,
ask
wait,
you
wait,
one
let's see.
question.
Hold on, go ahead.
You are talking about taking a product. Can you be sincere to this audience that if you take marijuana, how do you act? By
Chill
taking
as
it.
F. That's how I
Chill?
act.
Okay.
Chill. I
Okay,
calm
okay,
down and
okay,
relax.
okay, hold on.
If I have some weed, honey, I am too tired to
But
deal
would
with
you
this
say
right
that-
now.
but-
So
but Emerald-
at
You
the
may
end of
be
the day,
chill.
I am ready for a Cheech and Chong break.
Okay,
Okay,
you may
my
be
friend?
chill.
Peace on you.
Okay,
That's
you-
the
But would you
cannabis
say
message.
that that's not everyone?
Okay,
Would you say
that's what I'm
that,
saying. You may
some
be
people,
chill.
They don't
Who
always
smokes
act-
weed and wants to get violent?
Well, I'm about to tell
There
you.
is.
I'm
There
about to
is.
tell you.
I get it.
Because the Woodstock whole
Hold on.
thing.
Now you asked a question.
Yeah,
give
I'm
that
about to
answer.
tell you.
I want to hear
So I am from Wichita Falls. We have the gang violence there. So I know some people that were in a gang there. They would get high. They would get high before they go out and they would go start violence.
It was
That's
just
what they
weed?
would do. It
Just
was
weed?
just weed.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Okay, but back to the to bring back to the beginning of the discussion. Almost every single point you've made, and I'm glad you made the points, and some of the points are somewhat valid, but they're all emotional or moral based.
Thank you.
I mean,
The
it's
ill intention is
ridiculous.
there,
And
with
to
or
your
without
point
the
to the
weed.
gangs, listen, your Wichita gang, example, not sure about that. I believe you, okay? But at the end of the day, there's gangs all over the world, all over the country, that marijuana is not their trigger for the successful terrorist act that they're
you
getting
know
ready to
of.
commit.
That you know of.
And you certainly can't blame a drug for that behavior. Gangs, there's
It
a whole lot of
enhances it.
complexities to gangs
Okay.
besides the drugs and alcohol they use.
Wait.
Just
let
like
me-
it
I have
enhances
a-
your hunger.
I have
It
a
enhances
question.
it.
Dahmer, look at this. These people were not on weed. They drug tested them. That man was insane, okay? If a person has a mental condition, the weed has
No.
The whole
I
point
disagree
is,
with you.
Why
Need
do we
it
not
to
want it
carry out
legal?
these
So
values.
Because
let's
we don't
find
want
out.
it in the wrong hands.
So let's find out this right here. Would you say that religion plays a part as far as with you being for or against it?
Well, for me, I would say mine is.
Let's say if there was no religion in the world, would you still want to do it or not do it?
Religion has nothing to do with it for me.
Okay.
Religion has
It's not
nothing
what
to do
it
with it
sounds
for me.
like, but that's okay.
Oh yeah,
Let him talk. Let him talk.
But I never said one thing about Jesus. So how do you know?
Well, he did
Because
make
it's a moral issue,
justification.
because you're making a moral argument.
What do you think?
Illegalization.
Moral has nothing to do with
The
religion.
other is experiential, which you
Listen,
got some negative
religious
experience.
has nothing to
I
do
have.
with this. We are talking about, first of all, physically and mentally and character-wise.
Okay.
We are talking about legalizing marijuana right now. I want to make some point. Sometimes we talk about our youth, our teenagers growing. What will be our fate when we legalize marijuana? We are talking about bad behaviors.
We wouldn't legalize it for people under
excuse
18 or 21.
Excuse me,
Not
I'm
legal
making
for
a
people
point.
under 18
I'm,
in states
I'm
that
making
it
a
is.
point.
So tell me
because
this.
right now,
Do
The
you
wrong
have
argument.
The regulation is incorrect.
Hold
I
on,
mean,
wait,
if
wait.
we regulate any other substance, it's okay.
So tell me this: do you have any drugs that you could think of, either one of you, that you would say should be legal?
okay, there is anything like drugs supposed not to be legal because number one, like I
Can you
was
please
saying,
name one. That's what.
Or do you have any drugs that you would say should be illegal?
No, he thinks they
No,
should
we
all be
know. I mean,
illegal.
we know.
Oh, so
thinks
you
they-
think all
thinks they
drugs
should all be-
no,
should be illegal?
okay, the bad drugs, as far as there is bad drug like white cocaine
Yeah.
and marijuana, is not supposed to be legal. Like what I'm saying, I was saying about our teenagers coming up, our youth coming up. You see, sometimes, you see those children, if you don't take time, you legalize this marijuana. Now it's not legalized. People take it secretly, and you see how they behave. Now, when it is legalized, people will be smoking it openly, and there will be disrespect to everywhere.
Not if you regulate it, that's not true.
So watch this. So
That's
I'm
not true at all.
I'm gonna take it off for you for
Regulation
just a
and
moment.
this quality standard where we are talking about not taking a substance that is foreign to your body that has not been chemically and lab tested to ensure the quality and safety of the product you're intaking. For most cannabis products that are regulated, there is not just a list of ingredients. There is a QR scan code on the product that shows you exactly what is in this product from the lab. Can you say that you can go to the grocery store and see this? No, you cannot.
Okay,
So-
has marijuana has a QR code?
Yes.
Where?
Okay. So Emerald.
It is on the back
Let me
of
ask-
the regulated
No,
product.
that
It
is
tells you
not-
how much
You
THC
look.
is in it.
It
So-
doesn't just say that.
No.
It says how much cannabinoids are in it.
Let,
how
let me
many
make
terpenes
let me
are
make
in it.
one
We're gonna
point
break this
about
down
what
to
you
the
just
science.
said.
Hold on, wait. So before we even go that far, so I want to know from you guys. First, Emerald, are there any drugs that you feel that should be illegal?
Yes, there are some drugs that I do feel should be illegal.
Like what?
There are, for example, there are certain forms of heroin that should be used if it is regulated accordingly.
But you're saying there are other forms of heroin that should be
There are
illegal.
other forms of heroin that are not good to take because
Okay.
they're generally cut with other things, and this is not the form that should be used. For example, tobacco, okay? If you take a Philip Morris cigarette, there is gasoline in this cigarette, okay? There is stuff that embalming fluid in this cigarette, okay?
And they use it. So
And they use it. Honestly, you know, sugar is more addictive than any other drug that
Okay.
you can think of. But we consume it regularly. But we're not talking about diet.
Right,
Even
right.
sugar is a drug that causes cancer. It increases its growth pattern.
so it's classified as a drug.
It is classified as
And
a
you
drug.
and
We
and you
didn't take it.
and you feel like that
I
should
don't
be
feel like sugar should be illegal. I feel like it should be better regulated.
okay. And what about you, Jeff?
So I think every single drug should be legal because, again, I don't think the enforcement's working. And I think you defeated part of your own argument by saying that children, youths now are using drugs and look at the bad things that happen. Well, they're illegal and the kids are still getting the drugs. So it ain't working anyway. The second point, hold on. Alcohol. You can't walk outside a bar in Dallas, Texas with a beer down the street any more than if you start to regulate drugs and legalize them, that you say, look, you smoke weed in your house, you don't get to drive while you're high. If you're going to do cocaine and you're caught driving, you don't get to do it. You don't get to do it on this table right here. We regulate it too. It's not just a blanket legalization, do what you want.
But cigarettes also cause a buzz.
Okay.
And I want to say
Okay,
that because
excuse
cigarettes
me,
do
from
cause
what you
abuse
said,
and
I want to say
intoxication.
something on it.
If you can regulate the cannabis product so it is a low level, like a cigarette, where it is a delta 8 point is 0.08% of THC. This is a low level of THC intake, okay? Which means it leads to a almost no intoxication level. You also have some that are at 22% THC. And because the cannabis product is male and female, it is only natural that it will create this.
Gotcha. So that's good. What we're going to do at this time, we're going to cut to a commercial break. We have to take another one, and then we'll be back right after this. Well, welcome back once again. So we've had a very interesting conversation as the panels on both sides have definitely given their opinions about the legalization of marijuana. So as we conclude on today, Ms. Tina, I want you to just give us some final words of really why you feel the way that you feel about all of this.
Okay, so without putting religion in it, okay, the reason why I feel the way I feel is because I'm not totally, like I said, I'm not totally against it. I'm against legalizing it because we don't want it to get into the wrong hands.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm in pharmaceuticals, so we sell Marinol. It doesn't have the THC in it. So that I am for. I am for the medical purpose of, because it does have medical purposes. But as far as the THC, it starts to mess with your mind. And that's what I have an issue with.
Okay, all righty then. And then I know you had something that you wanted to state.
Okay. Let me just round up.
Yeah. Take a chill
Like,
pill,
yeah.
and then go ahead.
She said like medical purpose on it.
Right.
Yeah, but if you check the disadvantage on it, it's more than the advantage on it.
Okay.
Because the disadvantage of marijuana, it may have a little bit medical on it, but it have side effects. Like, for example, I don't know of here, like as I said, I've just been here in 7 years. But in my country, Nigeria, if you go to some health place like
The pharmaceutical?
psychiatric
Okay.
hospital,
Yeah.
most of the people that are there caused by marijuana
Okay.
because of some side effects. We are not talking about religion right here.
Right.
But if we bring religion in, even God is against it, against smoking. We are not talking about it because whatever that is going to destroy your body, like smoking, it's like this is a temple of God.
Okay.
And you can't destroy the temple of God.
Okay.
But let's put it aside because that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about legalizing it, how it is. But legalizing this situation may cause the country more hectic that they have not seen before. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Jeff. So when we hear everything that they say, and I know that you said you've gave great facts about why it should be legal. What are some final words you want to leave?
Well, I just think he brought up a good point. You know, as regulators, you have to weigh the pros and cons. You're saying the cons way outweigh the pros. I say the exact opposite. Again, if you could tax it, if you could stop the cost of enforcement, the cost of incarceration of all these drugs, sure, you're still going to have some addicts, but we still got them now. I think the pros of legalization are way outweigh the cons. Right now, it's not working. The war on drugs is a failure. We have more drug use than ever. The enforcement is way too costly, and we need to look at some different solutions. But keeping everything illegal is not a solution. It's not going to work.
All right. And Emerald, what would you
No.
like to say?
I have to say, I feel really sad.
Okay.
I feel really, really sad.
Why?
Because maybe y'all have never had a person in your life that has epilepsy, uncontrollable seizures, a person that has cancer, a leukemia, or something that is a life detrimental illness that does need to have the cannabis product, including the THC, to help calm the pain, as opposed to having a pill that has long-term side effects that will erode this person. An antidepressant from a person that has epilepsy naturally develops depression because you never know when you're going to fall down and have a seizure. And you're afraid and you live in anxiety.
Was that an experience that you dealt with?
The point is, when I take an anti-seizure medicine, there's long-term effects. My grandmother lived with pain, okay, from cancer. She did not smoke weed, but she ended up dying from the same medicine, the exact same medicine that was supposed to help her. And there are millions of people who suffer from the pharmaceuticals that we put into them. But if we can give them a chance, if we can give them just a little chance to not use as much pharmaceuticals and use something else that can help them, really help them, they deserve that chance.
Okay.
I'm sorry to get a little emotional, but I know from personal experience how valuable a product like this can be to the overall society, both medicinally and recreationally. I also know what we have on the product base of our current market.
Yeah.
And if we can hold a standard for this and not for this, this is a level of unfairness that we have to deal with on a social level.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here. So thank you all so much for bringing your points to the table, and I hope that I've done a good job bringing mine as well.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. I mean, from both sides, as far as our guests, Ms. Tina, Mr. Chi, as well as Mr. Jeff, Ms. Emerald, all of you guys for coming. I want to thank you personally just for coming to be able to share your valuable thoughts and opinions about it. Because when I say opinion, I mean that's just what it is. We're going to have people on both sides that feel like that maybe it should or should not be. I feel like everyone here that came on today gave very valuable points of why we should not have it, as well as why we can see. When we say the pros and the cons of it, I can see it from all sides. And for everyone that's watching on today, maybe you have someone inside of your family, maybe you've been against it, maybe you've been for it. But if you would like to, I would like to ask you just to continue to watch our shows, write into us, give us your personal thoughts on all of this. And until next time, I love this part right here because it always means something great. It's really true. Let's continue to talk. let's listen, and let's always love. Until next time, see you on the Dr. Ollie Show.